Hello again, class 206. Are you ready for class number 206? All right, this is a point 1919, 19. Point 1919, unit 19, point 19. And soon we will be in unit 20, but not yet. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. No te ilusiones todavía. Se dice, no. Literalmente es imposible traducirlos. No eleves tus esperanzas, literalmente. Don't get your hopes up. Así se dice. Es una frase hecha. Don't get your hopes up. No te ilusiones todavía. ¿Eh? We're not going to finish Unit 19 today, nor tomorrow, nor the day after tomorrow, nor the day after that, excuse me, wait a minute, Richard, wait. There are only 2 pages. Yes. But point 1919 is very important. Point 1920 is very important. Point 1921 is very important. Point 1922 is very important. All of them are very important. Yes, but I already know these things. No, you don't. Hombre, sí. Esto me lo sé como la palma de la mano. Yeah. No, you don't. Probably. Knowing a language means instant, spontaneous, powerful reproduction. And I don't know anybody who has that. So, to have command, see, a good command, solid command, o sea, dominio sólido, decimos en inglés. Command como comanda, como comandante. To have a solid. Perfect is not necessary, but a solid, agile, ágil, command. To speak English like Leo Messi handles the football. All right? Con fluidez. That requires la base. Esa es la base. No esto. I've told you many times. And so you need to be humble. All right, 9.19. There's less water in Spain than in France. Yes, which means there's more water in France than in Spain. Which means there isn't as much water in Spain as in France. And there isn't as much water in Spain as in Germany. There isn't as much water in Germany as in Canada. There aren't as many lakes in Mexico as in Canada. There aren't as many lakes in Spain as in France. There aren't as many canales artificiales hechos para transporte. There aren't as many canals in Spain as in France. There aren't as many canals in Spain as in Germany. There aren't as many people in Spain as in Germany. There isn't as much money in Spain as in Germany. There aren't as many Germans in Spain as in Germany. And there isn't as much money. There isn't as much money in Spain as in Germany. There aren't as many banks in Spain as in Germany. There aren't as many Oriental people in Spain as in China. There aren't as many people in Spain as in China. There isn't as much territory in Spain as in China. There isn't as much money in Spain as in China. There aren't as many people in Honduras as in Mexico. There isn't as much wealth. No hay tanta riqueza. Wealth. No health. Health is del cuerpo. Salud. Wealth is patrimonio, o en este caso riqueza. Cuando dicen el Commonwealth británico, es la riqueza común británica. The British Commonwealth. Yes. When Great Britain lost its colonies, it created the concept of the Commonwealth to stay connected some way. Wealth. There isn't as much wealth in Honduras as in Mexico. There aren't as many people in Venezuela as in Colombia. But there isn't as much oil, petróleo, in Colombia as in Venezuela. But there aren't as many, ¿cómo se dice? Arepas in Venezuela as in Colombia, I think. Arepas is something they eat, very common. There isn't as much rice in Spain as in Vietnam. There aren't as many olive trees in Vietnam as in Spain. There aren't as many pencils on that table than in this cup. There aren't as many pencils. There aren't as many. There aren't as many. There aren't as many. There aren't. So, la focas. There aren't as many. Enlacemos usando la T de aren't. There aren't as many. There aren't as many. There aren't as many. Aren't as. Al arte. Aren't as. There aren't as many pencils in my hand as in the cup. There are more pencils in the cup than here in my left hand. There are fewer pencils in my hand than in the cup. There are fewer pencils, cuando es plural, fewer. There are fewer big cities in Spain than in China, which means there aren't as many. There aren't as many big cities in Spain as in China. There isn't as much vodka in Spain as in Russia. There isn't as much vodka. There's a lot of vodka in Spain, yes, but much less than in Russia. There's much more vodka in Russia. Much more. There's a lot more. Las dos valen. Mucho más. Much more, a lot more, cuando es incontable. Vodka, o plural, singular. Digamos, botellas de vodka. There are many more, or a lot more, con a lot es universal. There are many more bottles of vodka in Russia than in Spain. There aren't as many in Spain. There isn't as much vodka. There isn't as much rum. There isn't as much rum in Spain as in Jamaica. There's more rum in Jamaica than in Spain. There's less rum here than there. There isn't as much here as there. You don't speak English as well as I do. You don't. And you don't have as many children as I do. Oh, no? How many children do you have, Richard? I have 21 children. I don't believe you. You told me you had 2 children. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. I told you. Okay, I have 2 children. But you don't have as many pencils as I do. Do you have 20 pencils at home? Do you have? No. Well, you see, you don't have as many pencils as I do. I have more than you do. Yes. You don't have as many problems as I do, probably. Richard, do you have a lot of problems? Do you have many problems? Do you have a lot of problems? Not really. No, not really. To tell you the truth, siendo sincero, a decir verdad, to tell you the truth, I don't have many problems. I don't have a lot of problems. I have a few problems, but not many. Maybe I don't have as many problems as you do. Maybe you have more problems than I do. Yes. Is there as much gold in Spain as in South Africa? No, there isn't. There isn't as much gold. Antes hubo mucho. Los romanos lo quitaron todo. The Romans took the gold and the silver. The Romans took all of the important minerals from Spain. Yes. In las médulas, you see, the Romans, they took all the wealth of Spain. So there isn't as much gold in Spain as in South Africa. There isn't as much oil in Spain as in Kuwait. There isn't as much sand, arena, in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There isn't as much saffron in Spain as in Iran. Hay más azafrán en Irán que en España, creo. There isn't as much saffron in Spain. There's a lot of saffron in Spain. Spain is number 2 or number 3 in the world. But I think Iran is number 1. That's your homework for tomorrow. What country is the number 1 in saffron? Yes. I don't know. Maybe Iran. Maybe Spain. But I don't think so. But tomorrow you correct me, okay? If I'm wrong. Am I right or wrong? Am I? Am I right or wrong? Is there more saffron in Iran or more saffron in Spain? Also, there's saffron in Greece, in Turkey, Morocco. I don't remember. Saffron. Yes, saffron. Saffron's crazy. Now, are there as many English teachers? Are there as many English teachers in France as in Spain? Probably not. France is bigger than Spain. There are more people in France than in Spain. But I have a feeling, tengo un presentimiento, I have a feeling that there are more English teachers here than there. There are fewer English teachers in France than in Spain, which means there aren't as many English teachers in France as in Spain. And why aren't there as many English teachers in France as in Spain? Because Spain is more obsessed with English than the French people. The French people are not as obsessed with English as the Spanish people. The Spanish market is very good for English teaching. The French market, perhaps, but I think the Spanish market is better for me as an English teacher. The French market isn't as good. The French market isn't as dynamic. The French market isn't as interesting. The French market isn't as lucrative as the Spanish market, I think. Even though France is bigger, I still think Spain is more interesting than France in the English teaching market or the English learning market. Are there as many pages in this book as in this one? No. There are 202. There are 202 pages in this book. So there aren't as many pages in this book as in this one. And the other one, in the translation booklet, are there as many this book, you remember, this book is thicker. This book is thicker than this one. This book isn't as thick as this one. So this is of the three, this book is the thickest. But which book has the most pages and which book has the least pages? Well, clearly, this book, this one over here, has the least number of pages. Now, this book has 405 pages. Ask me how many pages there are in this book. Richard, how many pages are there in the translation booklet? I don't know. There are 381 pages. That's strange. What's strange? Well, there are 405 pages in this book, correct? And there are 381 in this book. There are fewer pages in this book. There are more pages in this one. There clearly aren't as many pages in this book as in this one. However, when you put the two books together, clearly the translation booklet is thicker. So, the only conclusion I can draw, sacar una conclusión, the only conclusion, he perdido el sitio, the only conclusion I can draw is that the paper, the pages are thicker in this book than in this book, which means the pages are thinner in this book than in this book. So these pages aren't as thick as these pages. That's the only conclusion I can draw. Can you draw a different conclusion? Why is this book? This book has fewer pages. In spite of that, a pesar de eso, this book is thicker than this one. It's a paradox. It's a contradiction. So the only possibility is these pages are not as thick as these pages. In other words, en otras palabras, in other words, Memoriza in other words, in other words. Es la manera en inglés de decir o sea. En español se dice, en otras palabras también, pero se dice o sea, o sea, o sea. O sea is in other words. In other words, these pages are thinner than the pages in this book are thinner than the pages in. That's the only explanation, I think. Do you have a better explanation? All right. So, Unit 19, right? I lost my place. Siempre pierdo mi sitio. Where am I? ¿Dónde estoy? Where am I? Where am I? Here, page 208, right? No. Page 211, 210. Page 210. All right. So, there aren't as many politicians in Spain as in the United States. Well, wait, I'm not sure. Spain is smaller than the United States. The population of Spain is 47 million people. The population of the United States is 330 million. So the United States is what? Eight times. The United States is 8 times bigger than Spain in population, and maybe 10 times bigger in area, or 20 times. I think it's 20 times bigger. So the United States is a lot bigger than Spain in area and in population. But in politicians, I don't know. Well, how many members are there in the Spanish Parliament? I don't know. In the Congreso de Diputados, I think there are about 300 members. And how many members are there in the House of Representatives in the United States? In the House of Cámara de Representantes in Washington, in the House of Representatives, there are 435 members. In the House of Representatives, so it's perhaps 20% more than in Spain, the Spanish Congress of Deputies. However, in the Senate, el Senado, in the Senate, there are only 100 members in the American Senate. There are only 100 senators, 2 from each state. However, in Spain, I think there are 200 senators, 4 from each province, plus 1 maybe from Ceuta and 1 from Melilla. Maybe there are 202 senators. I don't know. So there are fewer senators in the United States than in Spain. Half the amount. There are 2 times more senators in Spain than in the United States. And the Senate, el Senado, the Senate in Spain has a swimming pool. Yeah, like the Roman Senate 2,000 years ago. But the American Senate doesn't have a swimming pool. So if I become a senator, I prefer to be a senator in Spain because I have a swimming pool. All right. Yes, there are only 100 senators in the United States. There are more in Spain. So there aren't as many senators, senadores, there aren't as many senators in the United States as in Spain. But deputies in the Congress, there aren't as many deputies in Spain as in the House of Representatives in the United States, where there are 435. All right. And how many states are there in the United States? There are 50. How many regions are there in Spain? There are 17. So there are fewer regions in Spain than states in the United States. What's the biggest region in Spain? Well, the biggest region in population? Yes, the biggest region in population is Andalusia. What's the biggest region in area? The biggest region in area is Castilla y León. But what's the population of Castilla y León? I think it's around 2.2 million or 2.1 million. 2.2 million. And it's the biggest in area. What's the population of Andalusia? The population of Andalusia is around 8.2 million. Wow. So there's 6 million more people in Andalusia than in Castilla y León. Yeah, more or less, yes, I think so. Yes. But Castilla y León is bigger in area. Yes, a little bigger in area. Andalusia is pretty big, eh? Pretty. O sea, es bonito. ¿Has dicho que es bonito o es grande? No. I said Andalusia is pretty big. Pretty. Bonito, grande. No, bastante grande. Pretty has two meanings. Uno es lindo, guapo, bueno, guapo, no guapo, guapa. Eso sí, pretty. Bonito. But pretty also es bastante. Sobre todo cuando dicen, ojo, ojo, es bastante grande, ¿eh? No te creas. En ese caso se dice pretty. Contraposición. It's pretty big. Andalusia is pretty big in area. But Castilla y León is even bigger. Andalusia isn't as big as Castilla y León, but almost. I don't really know. More homework for tomorrow. The size. All right. But is Andalusia bigger than Castilla-La Mancha? That's a good question. Well, how many provinces are there in Castilla-La Mancha? There are 5. How many provinces are there in Andalusia? There are 8. What's the richest province in Andalusia? The richest province. That's interesting. Either Seville, or Almeria. Almeria? Yes, Almeria with the agriculture is very, very rich. The agriculture, 6 cosechas por año, the pepinos and things. It's very, very rich. But Jaén is very rich too. Jaén is 20% of all the olive oil in the world. Correct, but the money doesn't stay in Jaén. The money goes to Madrid or to London or to Italy, to Milan. I don't know where the money goes from Jaén. All right. Because Jaén is the second poorest province in Spain in GDP per capita, gross domestic product per capita. It's the second poorest. But it's the number 1 location of olive oil in the world, or olive trees in the world. Okay. As much as many as much as singular. Yes. No tengo tanto dinero como la familia Rockefeller. I don't have as much money as the Rockefeller family. No tengo tantos libros como la Biblioteca Nacional. Okay. I don't have as many books as the National Library. I don't have as much money. I don't have as many books. Spain doesn't have as much oil, petróleo. Spain doesn't have as many oil wells, pozos de petróleo. They don't have as many. All right, we still have time. Point 20, how far is it? ¿Cuán lejos está o es? Claro. La distancia de Madrid a Barcelona, por ejemplo. Si dices, how far is Barcelona from Madrid? How far is Barcelona from Madrid? It's correct English. Perfect. But 99% of the time, or 100, we say, how far is it from Barcelona to Madrid? O sea, is it, y luego, how far is it? How far is it? Es como una constante. Y luego from to, from to, from to, from to. It's very easy. How far is it from the Earth to the Moon? How far is it from Mars to Jupiter? How far is it from this edge of the table to the other edge? How far is it from me to the camera? 3 meters. Right, Marta? 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters or 3. That's how far it is. That's how far it is. Así es la distancia. That is how far it is. How far is it? I don't know how far it is. Claro. Solo una pregunta directa se dice, is it? Igual que en la hora. What time is it? Do you know what time it is? Yes, I do. What time is it? It's 5 minutes to 12. Do you know how far it is from Madrid to Barcelona? Yes, I do. How far is it? It's 610 kilometers. Lo era en la antigua carretera nacional, N2, no? But I don't remember now. Maybe it's different now. How far is it from Austin to San Antonio? It's 70 miles. How far is it from Madrid to Dallas, Texas? It's 8,000 kilometers. It is. Para expresar distancias, it's 3,000 miles. It's 2,000 miles. It's 20 miles. It's 10 kilometers. It's 300 meters. How far is it, Richard, from you to the door? It's 4 meters from me to the door. How far is it from now to the end of this program? Bueno, no se mide en metros, but it's 1 second. See you tomorrow.